And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminonkeys, and all those that wish to, do all kind of crazy things to all of humanity for their own stupid reasons. Welcome back. We're here on a daily broadcast. We started this what is this? Is the 318th in a row. So we're focused on basically bringing about, we started with this, bringing down the stupid lie about the global currency reset. There was something wrong with what was going on there. Obviously, this was being a fraud perpetrated on the whole planet. A bunch of high-level people around the world all contributed to the idea of what was going on there, and high levels of banking and the military and governments, all understanding that this global currency reset was going to take place. But there was something wrong, something behind it that wasn't quite right. Things kept telling us that, hey, it's going to happen this day, and it's every day, every day, every day, every day, and nothing ever coming about. And the people behind the scenes and whatever else was going on, and we let this go on for years, right? I was only in it basically from about 2014 is when I first started hearing anything about any of it, which was all about historical bonds. But this was going on prior to that, mostly about currencies, right? About Iraqi dinars to begin with, and they would revalue the Iraqi dinar. If you got the dinars now, then it would go. Now, I knew about the dinars, and before that, actually, a friend of mine had, I think he had something like $30 million in dinars. Huge amount. He ended up dying. But he was strange. There were some questions about his death, whether it had something to do with the dinar, but we don't know. But anyway, there was all sorts of noises being made about resetting the world financial system, and it made sense. And there is going to be a reset, but who's behind it makes a difference, right? And now we found out that who's behind the previous one that we've been talking about. We're talking about dinars and everything, was really the existing financial cabal members. And they were using these currencies to pay off individuals and governments and military and just everyone around the planet, mercenaries, to get their work done. Here's all this dinar. Yeah, it's worthless today, but you take this because we're flipping the world, and when we do, you're going to be rich. And that's what was behind it. And a lot of people believed it to be 100% accurate because they knew so many people in high-level positions were saying, yeah, this is happening. Now, in the news, in the public view, it was like, oh, no. But behind the scenes, and if you were in the know, then you got your dinar, and you were going to be able to hold on to this and make something of it. So, it turns out that this was all a big fraud, right? But there was some big turnover happening in the financial world. There had to be, because the system is based upon fiat, right? No value behind it, right? It's just paper. It's not even worth what's the value of the paper it's printed on. Literally, the paper it's printed on is more value than the currency. So this is an event that had to occur. So I already kind of had left the dock. Maybe I shouldn't use a shipping reference, but I already left the ranch. I was not really, believing it anymore. I said there was something going on there. Though, I was engaged with the people and my associates and partners in it, and talked about it and said, listen, there's something wrong here. This isn't correct. And then when it turned out that there was money flowing into the system, another source, and I started picking up on that on Thomas Williams, basically giving reports about funding the U.S. government. And I was able to align that with people that told me that money flowed into the U.S. government. It's not in the public. Well, you're going to see this on Fox and CNN, but this money events happening, and that the world-changing events were underway. It started to seem like there was something else that we should investigate, and that's how I got in line with Tank. And we did our first broadcast, as I said, 318 episodes ago. We were going to do it just 2 weeks straight. I think we did one, and then we skipped a few days, and then we started with the 2 week straight, and we called that GCR, the Big Lie, Global Currency Reset, the Big Lie. And we went on this, and we stayed on it ever since. Now, Tank is not going to be here today. He did say this yesterday at the end of the show. He's got an obligation with his kids, so that's good. I've missed, I think, 2 because of internet. I had to go to a meeting, right? And so I had to leave to Manila. And by the time I, try and get a place where I can get internet and get online and coordinate with Tank at the same time, end up missing. But Tank was on. He did a different broadcast. But, I guess it was really about a commitment to do this every day so that we can bring forth what we need to create a new a new abundance-based world, my terminology. So this abundance-based world will be based upon a new type of financial system, not about a debt-based slavery system. So we've come quite a long ways, and now we find ourselves sitting here where we have had Kim, elevating the financial systems, creating higher security clearances so that she could lift herself and her system up and out of the financial. Sorry, my dog has decided to express his sovereignty, as Tui would like to say. Hello, Tui out there. Haven't heard from you. Tui, you can contact me if you'd like to jump on today, since there is no Tank. We'll probably keep this one relatively short anyway. Today I'm hoping to finish all the testing, and we literally open up Kringle Gold for the gold grain coins to have the first ones go out today. So that's so we'll keep this a little bit short. So what I just listening, see what's going on. Why was my dog expressing his sovereignty? What was going on? So where was I? I got sidetracked. So so I went into it. We're going to be doing this launch today. Hopefully, as long as we flip off the test net and then turn on the real coins to go out, because we have a test coin that's basically no value, just go back and forth and test the commission systems, make sure that's all working. So everything is okay. There's some minor things need to be adapted. Some things on the screen were being represented correctly, that kind of stuff. So it's just cosmetics, but the functionality seemed to be there from yesterday's testing. We'll be going into this, and it's been an interesting road to get here, to where creating a new type of financial system. This is Kringle Gold as an ecosystem. It's private membership coming in and participating and helping to build this economy. So this is gold based, in other words, because we're matching our coins to the price of the current gold price, and so there's a bid and an ask, and it's based on 1 grain, which is the smallest unit of gold you can work with, which is, a lot of people know about grams and ounces, so it's 480 grains in an ounce, or about 15 in a gram. So it's a small unit. About the say, if you want to trade it for a cup of coffee, that would make about sense, like a Starbucks or coffee bean, high value cup of coffee. It's about the same as 1 grain. So you can basically get them and use them just as though you would be getting gold. So this is our new innovation, is to do it this way, and that feeds into where we actually acquire gold, leverage gold, and then do crypto trading to actually generate a flow of more coin into our ecosystem, and then we distribute that out into our membership by way of effort. The more effort you put in, the more of share of that you'd end up getting. So you get a portion of what that is coming out on a daily basis. So that's the structure. This is our first step into this. So hopefully this is we are able to do this later today. What else? So let's swing this back around. We were kind of talking about what was going on with the high level financing that's going around the world. So we saw as, let's say, the old cabal system being cut out by Kim, right? Because after all, she's the main comptroller, the main trustee. There is no other, and that and she wants to take all this asset and put it back in the hands of the people. Took a long time to gather all of it. Now she wants to give it back and puts it all into the hands of the people. This has never been done before. It's once, it's more than once in a lifetime, because I don't know how many lifetimes, because I don't think it's ever gone this way before. So we're experiencing something brand new. And we're going to have a new, basically new ways to deal with things. So we have to think of things differently. We have to think different. Well, thank you, Thomas Williams. Thinking different is a specialty of mine. I've always thought different. Thought outside the box. I always often said, I don't know where the box is. I always like to see boxes, though, and try and build boxes as an architect and engineer. But I actually had training as an architect when I was very young, and then I had went right into engineering, electronic engineering, electrical engineering. So the environment that we find ourselves in with this new transition that's happening, where Kim has now laid it out, so where the countries can now take hold of their accounts and shift over. And as of last Friday, over the weekend, Rothschilds agreed to be working with her to basically not, I guess, cause problems. So let's see what happens this week. It'll be an exciting time to see something come about. I think we're right there right now, where we can see things happening. We've got also this in the world stage so much going on. I've mentioned over the last couple days about seeing the protesters in Hong Kong, Taiwan. We've seen what's going on with Brexit. We've seen what's going on now. We have the protests in coming up this week in Virginia on the gun rights. And I also saw that there's other protests, Swedes for Sweden. Just saw that yesterday. Swedes for Sweden. Unique concept, right? Now, this is it's big. They are they've become a major force. This new political movement in there to basically stop all the crazy immigration laws, which is basically let everyone flow in from the Middle East and destroy the cultures. Basically, wipe out everything. Wipe out all of the culture so that they can paint with their own paintbrush a new one, which doesn't look too good to me. Eliminate all ideas of gender. Force people into using I don't know what to call it, into machinery. Some kind of integration between man and machine. The idea of you can't be better than anyone else. I talk about rights, being right of pursuing happiness and life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But literally to say everyone is equal when people are not equal. People are different. Right? Some people are better at other things than others. Some people are not good at anything. Some people, may be good at everything. So people are different. And there's a society rewards people for doing things, and some people do things that people don't want to, that don't have no value to them. So they don't, why would you basically say that's equal? Now, I'm not saying that the people aren't equal in rights, but being able to do things, people will represent that differently amongst everyone. Now, if you're on an island filled with neurosurgeons, right, and you have a heart condition, how valuable are the neuroscientists? The neurosurgeons, you got someone with a heart condition. You're all very talented type of people, right? A lot of value. But so things are not equal. So trying to say that they are, in the perspective in which they are painted, I see that there's very little value in trying to say, or basically zero value in saying that there's 168 genders. I see there's 100% value in saying that there's two genders. There is recognition of biology, and people are born with both sets of genitalia. Okay, great. It's that there are things that happen in nature, right? But this is not to adapt the whole world to basically now say, okay, that's that, because it happens so rarely. And then, given a simple choice, they're often given the choice to go one way or the other. But that's after they get older and they've developed enough. Now they want to do things to children, and force a gender upon them. And I saw it personally, where there was a couple, a family that I knew when my kids were young, and there was a divorce happening, and there was two kids, and one of them, the mother made a target of the man to be cruel to, and flipped her gender, made her into a boy. I thought it was the cruelest thing I've ever seen. That little girl never seemed like a little boy to me. Never. Always did girl things, played with my daughter. Never, ever. She was a little chubby, but she turned that little bit of chubbiness into, a masculine thing. So, what's equal about this? So not giving the girl the ability to choose happiness. It's a sickness in society. Anyway, I seem to be way all over the place today. Uh, as I said, this is not a. We'll kind of try to keep this one a bit short today. I guess what I'll do is I'm going to see if there's any questions in the group. Say hello to everybody. When I go ahead, I'll change my display here. Hello there, everybody. Now, of course, it's all the way here on the right-hand side. We get the group chat. Volume low, Dan. Well, I have someone saying they're going to send me a microphone. Tim, I sent you a type of microphone if you'd like to go ahead. Now, of course, he sent me a picture of one with the big muffs on your ears and the big thing. But no, I'm not going to do that. I found one that's this little thing around the ear. Right? It's a flesh tone. Hang out right here, a little microphone, and it's wireless, right? So, maybe that might improve things. My microphone is literally at the top of my computer facing the ceiling. So there's not much I can do about that other than speak up. So sorry about that. Okay, what else do we have here? There's a group of people saying Russia is going through right now the GCR and ZIM is getting a value the same as China's currency. Nah. Nah. Listen, the story changes. It's happening this way, it's happening that way, but it never does. Oh, but this is the one day in which it will happen, right? This is the day. Now, was China behind a reevaluation of this in the past with the Chinese elders? Is there some part of that? Well, who was the Chinese elders? Well, Rothschild. It was a plan. Going along with all of the other plans of the UN, which is another thing owned by the Rothschilds. So no, I'm afraid whatever is going on there, if it was successful, it means the end of humanity. I know this is a big stretch, right? Because people say, well, how is that? Because it empowers the destruction of the world economy. No matter how well your plans are to take your new money, right? And to do business. You remember those movies like Brewster's Millions, right? Where you had to go out and spend like millions of dollars, in a period of time, and he found it really difficult. You got so much money, and you're one guy, and you got to now build a whole new world economy, even if there's 1 million of you that have this. First of all, it's going to cause excessive increases in prices of food and clothing, shelter, Learjets, yachts, cars, televisions, phones, because no one's going to be able to afford these things. Oh, but you're going to give them jobs. I got it, right? Great. Well, it's up to you to build all these business with all these things. And how well are all these people adapted that to build companies? Did they do it before? No. Majority of people that have currencies ready to revalue never build a business. Right? They're looking for the retirement. That's why they got a hold of Zim or dinar, right? I'm not saying they can't do business. I said they haven't done it before. Haven't hired hundreds of people. Haven't built an organization. If you haven't done it and you're going to go out and do it, you're going to lose a lot of money along the way. And that may be fine because you got a lot. But there's going to be a lot of other people doing that. And there's in this chaos that will ensue, the price of everything will go up, up, up. Most people won't have it except for the million people that basically have these currencies to revalue. And so all that don't have it are now going to be upset with you. And it's going to cause a lot of economic strife. There's going to cause a lot of upheaval in the world. And that's what it's designed to do. So the government can come in and say, or the UN can roll in and say, oh, you were bad. Look what you guys did. You broke the economy. Of all this currency you dumped in here, you did it. You're the bad ones. But I meant well. Yeah, no, sorry. That's not the way. What we see is a restructuring taking place. The Federal Reserve will be rolled into the U.S. Treasury. It'll be asset-backed. The new, reserve currencies of the world will roll out into the world, and there won't be any interest based on these currencies. So there will be no debt. So you don't have to keep gathering more to pay off the previous debt and flowing into one pot. It's not owned by the people, owned by a small group. All right, so let me continue on here. Dan, what happens to the whole world will be in trouble. Everyone will be rich, as they say. Fiat money is not valued for anything. Right. Well, that's now. This is true, but I must say that in the GCR, it was going to be now asset-backed. The new money that you would receive would be asset-backed. So that would be the only place where there was real money in the hands of these million people. Maybe it's 3 million people, maybe it's 500,000. I'm just saying 1 million people. And it's these million people, not the 7 billion people, that now have control over everything, right? That they don't know how to control anything. They haven't done it before. Yeah, there are a few people in there. Maybe it's, 3% of the people in there know how to build a business, know how to build a structure, know how to implement. All right, let's move on. Question from Lisa. Did you know that Al Qaeda is a name in Arabic for the base? Yeah, oh yes. Wow, and now scary for Virginia tomorrow. Yeah, there is the base is a group. Where did that come from? I read something about that yesterday. I'm not exactly sure, but I did read something about that yesterday called the base. I said, that's a horrible name. All right. Let's see what else we got here. According to the Looking Glass Project, all the timelines converged at 2012 as the date where to be awakened. So yeah, so I'm in agreement with that. I think that has to do with galactic weather patterns. That's what I like to call them, and these energies and things that are rolling around through the galaxy as the arms of the Milky Way twist and turn and roll around, and we go around the whole center of the galaxy. So as we experience all this, right, that's going on, we're out on the arm of one of these things, and it goes through these periods where there's more energy. Well, let's say we move into this area, and why Project Looking Glass couldn't be used from, what was it, the 60s until like 2016? funny. When Trump gets in office, it's active again. Something to think about there, right? So Project Looking Glass wasn't able to be used because of so much energy that was overcoming all the possibilities, right? So there wasn't anything that could be cleared. So they could only see what happened prior. So yeah, so there was a convergence that happened. Timelines, interwoven timelines. Suppose there's about 5 main timelines that are interwoven like a rope, right? And they twist in and out of each other. And things kind of roll through, and the energies kind of like twist around and carry each other along. Let's keep going here. Yeah, talking about a false flag in Virginia. Now I'm hoping that I did say this yesterday that I heard that Trump has pulled a brilliant move and eliminated that area from any GPS working that day, so that there won't be the ability for anyone to coordinate based upon GPS and things like that. Also, there was a no-fly zone instituted. So we hope for there to be a peaceful demonstration. Okay, let's see. Oops, jumped up too much. I passed things here. Sometimes it jumps too much. I don't know where it left off. Crazy. That was a false flag. Okay, got it. There's a looking glass. Okay, the issue with the cube is that it's done by awakened dark beings that try to sense the outcome of the planet, and the cube only does it personally for beings holding the cube. I guess that's part of it. It's perspective, right? People's own perspective. That's why I like to everything. Remember, like in the theory of relativity, everything is relative to your perspective. Every individual's own perspective. So whoever's holding that cube, it's only going to be able to peer out into the future, the waves, based upon your perspective. I would say 95% of the child actors are transgender children offered into darkness. Interesting observation. I don't know what to say with that, but I wouldn't doubt it. So, according to the cabal rules, right, in these families, you had to give up your first male child, right, or send them off to be raised as the opposite sex with another family. So obviously that happened quite a lot. Okay, X-22 report BJ ready to begin talks with U.S. Trump ready to push plan. Not sure. Okay, strong paper trail. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, we got down towards the bottom here. Okay, someone says, I have noticed all the delinquent loans that you have on your credit cards are now being bought by companies in California. This is not a coincidence. It is the Dems control setup. Get to pay. That's an interesting thought. Now, there's a lot of people out there buy debt, right? And mostly they'll buy debt and they'll basically try and force you through all sorts of coercion, even where they break the law in what they say to you over the phone to get you to pay up your old debt. So by California companies buying up everyone's debt, would it be so that they can try and force you to do things? It's an interesting thought. Smile says, my company goes after third-party collection agencies. There you go, Smiles. All right. Well, let me flip back here for a moment and talk about another subject. I had a friend of mine yesterday call here in the Philippines, and I speak. I've known him for about 3 years. Uh, he's a very active, dynamic business guy, right? And tries to get his hand in a lot of different things. He called me and said that he needs money. He's never called me and asked me any money. I thought it was very strange. And I told him, well, I literally just got a donation sort of carry me through my my electricity and Wi-Fi bill that is getting paid today. It's Monday for me, Monday morning, and I said I don't have any to send you, but I'm willing to let people, tell people about it. And apparently, what's happened is his daughter's up, I think he's about 10, 11 years old. I met her one time. She's got dengue fever. This is a disease that's passed on by mosquitoes here in the Philippines. And it is very life-threatening, and you have to be hospitalized. And it does, hit people, and it does, cause people to die. So it is a serious matter. It's good, that he got, but he did ask for just, small amounts of money from me, just like, he said like, 1,000, 2,000 pesos, which is about, $20, $40. So I said that I would be willing to ask my audience that has been so generous if they would feel that they would be able to help out. So please go ahead and send me a donation today. I will, forward that on to him tomorrow. Normally, this is, my wife had dengue fever and the bill ran about $800 in the hospital. If in the U.S., it probably would have been $8,000, but here in the Philippines, about $800. So please, if you're able to go ahead and contribute small amounts, anything that come in through my PayPal or if there's other ways you can contact me if you need to, and I will forward that on to him to help pay his bills. So again, that's not something I normally do, but I haven't been normally asking for myself either. It's just one of those things, I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I think it's the second time I've asked for people to help someone on here. So, and I'm just doing it just because, he called to ask me. Right? And I wish I could have immediately done something, but I wasn't able to. But I am able to ask you to help. So please, contact me if you need more details. All right. So what else? Okay. All right. No, there's no more questions there, so I think we're good on that. Now, I would also say that I am expecting that we will go ahead and do this launch. So I'm going to cut this short here. I'm just going to, say, I want to try and finish up the testing, and maybe in the next few hours, and then move over, or basically flip from the test systems to the live systems, and bring in a handful of people today to start. I'll give out my link for the affiliate link site, and then get that rolling. And if anyone is interested to learn more, you can go to kringlegold.com, and you can read about what our overall plan is. Right? It talks about an ecosystem development there. So it's KRINGLE dot, or KRINGLEGOLD. So KringleGold, then .com, and we'll get you'll get acquainted with what the concept is here. So there's talks about the grains coin, which is the main focus of what we're doing right now, is launching the grain coin today, and that would be the system that we would be using to get flow happening. Right? And then that feeds into other programs, abundance programs we would do in the system. So if you're interested in getting involved with this as well, go ahead and contact me, and then I will show you how that plays into how we build up, an abundance programs, and how that plays in helping to, self-govern our economy, right, and what that turns into. And for everyone else, you'd like to, you can get a donation. So if it comes in through here, wwg1wga.love website, right, and you do a subscription today, whatever comes in today, I'm going to go ahead and send over to my friend and to help his daughter. And otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow. So thank you everyone for everything you've done, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.